T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to The Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique, host-created top 10 lists, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle and Adam Poston.
And welcome to just an average episode of The Twisted 10.
I like that. I like you aren't spoiling the audience, because this could be great.
I don't want to build it up too much,
I like that.
So welcome to Twisted 10, and if this is your first time joining us, what this show is all about is we have a different host for the day, and they come up with a unique original top 10 list, and then we all discuss it, break it down, tear it apart, rip it up, eat it, and then poop it out. Why did that come back again?
Do these lists come from some specific place?
I'm glad you asked, Adam. No, they do. Well, they do. I mean, we will use like references from different lists online, whatever, YouTube, whatever. But we'll put together our own list. And a lot of times they're usually not in any particular order, but that's all up to the host for the day.
Or hostess.
Or hostess for the day.
The hostess with the mostess, baby.
And so for the Twisted 10, I am Tach. I'm not your host for today.
I am Adam, and I am also not your host today.
I'm Andrea Joy.
Not a host.
Not a host.
S.
Not a hostess. I like that.
And I'm Jay Alvarez, and I was the last one to put my finger on my nose. So I will be your host this week.
Nice.
All right. So what do you have for us this week, Jay?
Well, this week I have just an average list. The season being upon us.
Oh, nice.
I know last week I gave a teaser, and I started working on a list, and that just went to shit. That just did not happen.
That happens
It was
here.
not worth. Yeah,
It happens to me a lot too.
Yeah, Adam's pretty famous for that.
Yeah, that list turned out to be a horrible, horrible mistake. So I revamped. Realized it's the holiday season, and so I decided to come up with a little list. Something that's always near and dear to my heart. I have Jay's top 10 Christmas facts.
Ooh, how festive.
Ooh.
I love Christmas.
Baby,
You're gonna want to hold. You're gonna want to
outside.
hold on to those expectations, there, Andrea.
Oh no!
Are you about to ruin Christmas for me?
I'm about to ruin Christmas for a whole lot of people, probably.
Should I turn the
no.
volume off?
I love Christmas time.
Oh, I love Christmas time.
I still
too.
think it's magical.
I love Christmas time in the sense that I love that everybody comes together. It's always very festive. Stop. Stop. Don't make this a dirty
He's
thing.
ruining it. What happened?
She heard that I was going to ruin
She's
Christmas and she just went away. That's what that was.
That's what happens when
Sorry,
you kill
technical.
innocence. I died.
Technical difficulties. We need a sponsor to pay for some upgraded equipment in studio. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe if you're the type of sponsor that likes to buy cheap engagement rings for women, although you could easily afford much better ones.
You're still holding that grudge.
I am still holding that grudge. I've actually gotten several messages on Facebook because of my little rant. Like, did you really call her a bitch? I was like, you heard it. You heard it. And so, no, but I do like the Christmas season. I like all, the fact that everybody comes together. But, and I remember, growing up in Miami, my Christmas was always very, let's decorate the palm tree. You know what I mean? So it was very different. When I first moved to New York, I remember thinking that, having this very Norman Rockwell, Miracle on 34th Street image of Christmas. Like, I thought it was just going to be like little girls in pea coats running up and down the sidewalks saying, "Oh, look, Mommy, it's Father Christmas." Like, I don't know why little girls in New York have British accents, but, and what happened was, I remember my first Christmas in New York, I told myself, let's go to Rockefeller Center. Let's check out the ice skating because, that's what you do. And I went there with this whole image in my head. And what I found was, instead of a Coke commercial, I found some 45-year-old overweight pudgy guy slipping on his ice skates like, hey, Marie, watch me do this pirouette. And then he like pushed 5 people out of the way just so he could fall face first onto the ice. And an ambulance had to come and scrape him off because he ended up breaking his nose.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So Norman Rockwell's a liar is what I learned.
Well, I don't think Norman Rockwell painted anything on 30 Rock, though, did he?
I don't know. Don't care.
He mostly stuck to small town stuff.
He's the one I'm blaming. Don't take this from me, Tech. I don't have much. So since Christmas was ruined for me at that time,
I'm going to ruin it for all of you.
I'm ruining it for everyone else. And no, my heart will not grow 3 times this day. So, with all ado, here are Jay's top 10 Christmas facts, and we're starting with number 10.
Number 10.
10 Lords of Leaping.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So, number 10, most popular Christmas songs were written by Jews.
That's interesting.
Or have
Really?
unconventional origins. Yes.
Really?
I mean, think about it. One of the best-selling Christmas albums is Barbra Streisand sings the Christmas tunes. Oh, we all know Babs is a member of the tribe. So,
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
one of the ones I got for this one, or if they weren't written by Jews, they have some pretty unconventional origins. What was it? Jingle Bells was actually written for Thanksgiving.
We said
We
that on
did-
a Thanksgiving show.
Yeah, we talked about that
see,
somewhere.
so that was one that was one that came up. So that's one of the ones I got that got me thinking about this. We're looking at "Let It Snow" was written by Jewel Stein and Sammy Kahn.
That's about the most Jewish name you can have, I
Yep.
think.
And it was actually written when they were in California going through a heat wave and wishing for, better temperatures.
Let it snow.
Let it snow. That wasn't a song to bring about images. It was a plea. For the love of everything good and fluffy on this earth, let it snow. The other one I got is Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Santa Claus is coming.
Was
You better
written
watch
by James Gillespie. He was actually hired by a radio station to write a Christmas song, and he had to quit because his brother had died. And while he was grieving the loss of his brother, he actually remembered one of the things his mom used to tell them when they were kids: "You better watch out. You better not cry because Santa Claus is watching."
Oh, wow.
And so that's where the hook came for the song, and that's what came out of his brother dying. That was, one of the most one of the biggest, I guess, grief-stricken periods of his life.
Blessing,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Blessing in disguise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they always say that things like death or love or something like that draws on some of the most creative tendencies in a person.
That
So-
didn't happen for your rap, though.
I wasn't in love with my rap on Living Vicariously.
No, I don't think anybody was in love with your rap.
No. Hey, look, I'm not a rapper, but I
loved
tried.
it. I loved it.
I tried.
I thought it was fantastic.
I'm going to cut it all out, though. I'm going to cut out the punishment. I'm going to cut out the rap. No,
You're
I'm
going to
kidding.
cut out your stuff and no one else.
I'm going to dub in Eminem inside
Oh,
for my
dear
rap.
God. So that was number 10. Moving now on to number 9.
Wait a
Number
minute.
9.
9 ladies.
Ladies
You
what?
forgot that one, don't you?
9 ladies what?
I thought you said to wait. I was stopping to
I
wait.
never said wait.
No.
Oh.
9 ladies what? I said nueve.
Oh, I thought you said wait, too. That's why I was
I
like,
did too.
oh.
I waited.
Yeah, I'm the only one who heard nueve because it's my language. Thank you, guys.
I heard like no wait. That's what I thought I heard. No wait. Number 9.
9 ladies dancing.
There we go. The Three Kings. We're all familiar with the story, right?
Yeah.
Jesus was born. The three kings were there.
Are they
Yeah.
the 3 kings or the 3?
We
Wise men?
three
Wise
kings
men.
of Orient are.
Yeah.
Whoa, listen to that busting out in some lyrics over there.
Mm.
Is that the wise men? Is that
We
what that's
three
referring
kings
to?
be robbing this gold. Remember
Yeah.
that one from Ice Cube and George Clooney.
right.
I always heard the bits on those, the wise men that gave the gifts. One gave gold, one gave something.
Silver and myrrh.
Frankincense and myrrh.
Frankincense and myrrh.
Fuck is frankincense and myrrh? Is it spices?
Something that a baby has no
Herbs.
use for.
Yeah. I mean,
Something that a newborn
To bring
baby
blessings.
has absolutely no reason to need. So, the Three Kings, nowhere in the Bible does it actually say 3. At no point. Matter of fact, the only time that they are mentioned anywhere in the Bible is the book of Matthew, and it just says the wise men came. Never mentions kings, never gives a number. In fact, in Eastern Christianity, the number's 12.
Really?
We 12 kings
Yep.
of Orient are. Well, so only 3 of them brought presents then?
No, there's no
Nine.
mention of
It's the
three.
only ones that were mentioned.
It could have been 50 of them. We have no
They
idea.
all brought the same present.
All we know is that there was more than one, and hopefully somebody brought a baby monitor or a
Did
rattle.
they get like a receipt with these gifts?
Probably not, because they were.
I saw the funniest.
Well, they were wise men, so we would hope so.
I saw the funniest meme on Facebook. It said a Coca-Cola nativity scene, and it had all the Cokes with the names of the people on them.
Oh yeah, I saw
One of
that.
them was Jesus,
Jose.
and then the Mary and yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun. I'm sorry, it was
Camel.
funny. Yeah,
So that's there. And then the other fact on the three wise men, they weren't actually there when Jesus was born. According to the Bible, they showed up much later. Some scholars estimate they could have been up to 2 years after
Mhm.
oh wow.
the baby Jesus was born.
Who wasn't even born in December.
Well, that might be one of his.
You're jumping ahead.
That's like talking about the dog that ate the underwear that killed the. You know what I'm talking about, the story that we had in here.
fish that ate the cat that ate the
What happened to my cat? Eaten by the dog. My goldfish Goldie? Eaten
My
by
dog
the
Poo-Poo?
cat.
I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die.
I forgot about that scene. That was funny.
Going down. Oh, by the way, I should have mentioned this up front before I go too much further.
Yeah.
There is a twist.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
We like twists.
Ooh.
What's the twist?
Oh, one of them isn't real.
One of these stories isn't real.
One of these is not real.
All right. I don't know my Bible facts, so I have no idea whether to challenge number 9.
Well, these aren't all biblical, so
Okay.
not all of them.
All right.
I wasn't trying to make this
I
too much of a
completely believe that most
Yeah.
Christmas songs are written by
By Jews.
Jews or not anything in
Yeah.
association with it. They have different origins. Yeah, I completely believe that one.
So, all right then. Well, on that note, then we're
Jay's
going to
like-
number.
Jay's like, that's the one.
We're going to number
Dumbass.
8.
Ocho.
8 maids and milking.
8.
Xmas is not actually a war on Christmas.
No?
No, do
Just
you guys know
lazy.
the origin of Xmas?
Well, I know that.
I think
Laziness.
Well, that's kind of what I
well,
thought
that's
too.
part of it, I think.
When you see people say, "Don't great Xmas, Merry Xmas," right? Merry Christmas. And I'm like, well, it kind of is a cross, Merry Crossmas. No,
Some
not
sort
quite.
of like shorthand for something, right?
Adam's actually pretty close on it. You're right there too, Tech. So in ancient Greek, the word chi, or the sound chi, I don't know, because it was more hieroglyph than anything, actually looked like the letter X, and it was used in place of Christ. It actually meant Christ. So Xmas literally means Christmas.
Wow.
And with the X being a cross, the older shorthand of it was Xmas. P was O. So so it was Kai Thomas, which became Christmas, something like that. I may be a little off on the pronunciation there. But if you take the X and you put the X with the P on top of it, that was actually the original symbol for the crucifix.
No shit.
Yep.
See, he's so good at this. He could be completely bullshitting on this, and I'm like, he's good at this.
We
he can
learned
sell
so
it.
much from you.
I am here to mildly educate.
Kind of like
Averagely,
Jesus.
though.
Yeah.
Jesus was.
Just averagely educate us.
Yes.
For an average show.
For an average show.
It's mediocre at best.
Do you want music, Christmas music playing in the background?
No, dear God, no.
Oh, okay.
Some music celebrating the Christ child that was written by a Jew who doesn't believe in the Christ child.
Who the Christ child himself was Jewish. Just saying.
He didn't
Yes,
believe in
he
himself. That was the extent of his
No,
self-esteem
No confidence.
issues.
No,
That's what
no.
happens when you have a dad. Maybe a dad. I don't know.
Now, let's be nice.
Oh.
It's his birthday.
Yeah, it's his birthday and everything's closed.
Wait,
Poor
tax,
Jesus.
tax or Jesus?
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
All right, so that was number 8. Going down to number 7.
Number 7.
Wait.
7 swans is swimming.
7. And this is one a lot of people have actually heard about probably. Christmas actually sees a spike in suicides.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, apparently there is a peak due to all the emphasis on family, driving those that are depressed a little bit over the edge.
Oh,
So there is actually a little bit of a spike in suicides.
Way to bum the show.
Why don't they just
down.
get back with their family?
Well, probably because their family's dead, or
But you
Or
can always make a
disowned.
new family.
Well,
That
it's
involves-
also, you have to think about
you
our
have to get off the
troops, too.
drugs.
Yeah, our
you're
troops-
looking. You're also
And
looking
go
at.
home.
You're also looking at troops that that are without a choice in the matter.
Well, then send them some whores. They'll cheer them right up.
This woman is brought to you by MWR.
And
They will
welcome-
not be thinking about suicide then.
And welcome back to MWR. Meaning, like,
I got you.
you know where I went with that?
NPR.
NPR.
Yeah.
And do you know what You know what MWR
Yes,
is?
I
Do you
know what MWR
is?
is. Yeah.
Meals, welfare, and recreation. It's the term for like off time or downtime for the enlisted folks.
Oh.
So,
All right.
yeah. All right. That was number 7. Coming down to number 6.
Number
Six piece
six.
Christmas was not always celebrated in the entire history of Christendom. In fact, in early Christianity, the emphasis was really more on the resurrection than the actual birth of Jesus. No one really cared. It wasn't until about 200 Common Era before the first attempt was even made at trying to figure out when Jesus was actually born.
200 years ago now or 200
No,
years
the year
from
200.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
200 current era.
Do you think they called it the year 200 in the year 200?
No,
Or-
because back then they had different calendars anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So they might have already had a 1999 several times.
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, there's only 4 billion years of Earth history. That's right. I said billion with a B. Eat that, creationists.
And
Dinosaurs
eat that,
and
Prince.
men did not play fetch with dinosaurs. It didn't happen. Stop using your dioramas to make fake history. I'm sorry.
Get it. Get him.
I
got you.
digress.
I hear you. I'm on board.
But yeah, Christmas actually didn't become observed and really being celebrated until the 4th century when Constantine brought it into the fold. Constantine, the first Roman emperor that was a Christian, and kind of made Christmas a thing.
I just know Constantine from the really cool movie with Keanu Reeves.
That is a comic book character, sir. I will ask you to just take that back.
Am I stopping my blasphemy over here? Is that what you want to do?
I know Constantine as an American Idol contestant on season 4.
Oh, for the love of shit. And you're really asking who the effeminate one is?
What are you talking about?
So yeah, Constantine was, but again, before then, the real big emphasis was on the resurrection. So Easter was really the big thing. Also Easter because I think in Easter closer to Passover or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where the big celebration was up until Constantine. So that's 10 through 6 on Jay's Fun Facts of Christmas.
All
All right.
And we'll go ahead and take a quick break in studio and come back with the last top 5.
All right.
Sounds good.
Hey, it's Adam. If you enjoy the hosts or the content of The Twisted 10, be sure to check out our other show. It's called Living Podcariously. While The Twisted 10 may get crass and explicit occasionally, it holds no water to Living Podcariously. We do get a little bit more rough and raw on that show. We have a lot of fun producing it and have had some awesome guests. And as always, thanks for listening.
DJ Gil Lugo is bringing back the old school.
Just a cast away, an island lost at sea. Another lonely day, no one here but me. More loneliness than any man could bear. Rescue me before I fall into despair.
All right, guys. Well, welcome back to the Twisted 10. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of a break. This is Jay, and I'm still joined alongside by these. I don't care. The non-important non-hosts for this week. They're just standing by for my list.
Hostess.
And hostess.
Non-hostess.
So we are doing Jay's top 10 Christmas facts. The 10 through 6 were in no particular order. Most popular Christmas songs were written by the Jews, who we love, and thank you for all of our little songs. It's like they were taking pity on us. So like, oh, we'll give you your little guy. Here, we'll write a song for you.
Oh, by the way, that's a good plug-in. I'm going to just do this while you're talking about the Christmas songs. If you listen to our other podcast called Living Podcariously, here very soon we will be releasing some Christmas songs sung by, but predominantly Andrea and Tach. However, Adam will guest on one song, and maybe Jay will have some sort of Christmas story or something. We'll come up with something, but it's going to be a bonus release.
It's going to be a Christmas album.
So, yes.
Are you supposed to say holiday?
No.
Put the Christ back into Christmas, Andrea.
Oh, boy.
I never took it out.
So, yeah, 10, most Christmas songs either have unconventional origins or were written by Jews. Xmas is not proof of a war on Christmas. The Three Kings, the suicide rate spiking, and Christmas wasn't always celebrated. It is 10 through 6, and now we get to start with number 5.
Number 5.
Golden rings.
Sinkle.
So, you guys are familiar with Santa Claus, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
At the very least, vaguely.
Oh, she doesn't.
Yeah?
Andrea doesn't want to hear anything fake about Santa.
So,
I have to,
Santa's
OJ, I have to
real.
believe in Santa,
Santa's
otherwise she
real,
doesn't bring me
Santa's real,
presents from
Santa's
Santa.
okay. So,
You can say whatever you want.
No, okay.
This is the fake one. I
Well,
know
I
it.
will because it's my show.
This is the fake one. I know it. It's got to be.
So we all know how Santa Claus looks. Does anybody know where that look was created?
Oh,
How do we have
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola?
Ooh, not a bad guess.
Well, that's actually the most common perception is that this
Huh.
image we have of Santa being a fat and jolly dude in a red outfit was created by
Sure.
Oh,
Coca-Cola.
the guy who wrote the night or the
'Twas the night
Twas
before
for
Christmas.
Christmas.
That's a little closer to the truth. So Santa Claus's look was not created by Coca-Cola. Which goes, I know there's probably like everyone in Atlanta yelling at me right now. Coca-Cola's Godsend. So the internet, the internet has given rise to a lot of silly, unfounded rumors about everything from Walt Disney having his head frozen to Tommy Hilfiger proclaiming on television that he didn't want minorities wearing his clothes.
Yeah, but that, wait, whoa. You're saying
That
that's
did not
not true?
happen. That didn't happen.
What? All this time I could have been wearing Hilfiger? I never wanted to.
Find the clip, find the news article, look for it. I urge you to look for it. It never happened.
I have been
Nay, we
literally
challenge
duped.
you.
I've been duped all this time into not wearing Tommy Hilfiger. I've even talked about on this on one of our shows that I wouldn't wear Tommy Hilfiger because of his anti-racial
Never happened.
slanted whatever.
No,
Wow,
That's
really?
so
That
funny
never
because
happened.
I never wore Tommy Hilfiger because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I'm not like
I never wore
What's
Tommy
that?
Hilfiger because I couldn't afford it.
I like
I
That
never
too.
look at the labels of it. If it's on the
I'm not
sale
a
rack and
label
I like
whore.
it, I take it.
I'm not a label whore. So
You
I
take it, you don't pay for it?
I take it
Andrea
off the
Joy.
rack and take it up to the. Well, take it to the dressing room.
We
Try it
diverted,
on.
Jay. Sorry, bud.
So as we come back, so yeah, it wasn't. It actually wasn't created by Coca-Cola. In fact, Washington Irving, who we all know from The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and Clement Clark Moore, who is rumored to have written A Visit from Saint Nick, which is what 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, actually had a lot more to do with our current perception of what Santa Claus looks like.
Really?
I thought Coca-Cola got that image from that poem.
No, even Washington Irving had a little more to do with it than the poem did. Washington Irving in what was it called? I didn't write the name of the title down, but that's on me. But I did get the quote. Said he described Santa Claus as a large man in a red suit smoking his favorite pipe. And that was kind of the beginning of the current image of Santa Claus. Most people don't realize originally Santa Claus wore green.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the original thing. There were also, what was it? I think the original Dutch had him as like a tall, slender man. You know what I mean? It was
Slender Man?
Slender Man.
I know Slender Man. He's scary as hell to kids.
I know how he starts. They have that claymation that Santa Claus is coming to town.
Mhm.
You know, where it starts out and he's young with the red hair and everything.
Oh yeah.
Santa Claus had red hair?
At some point.
When he was
Really?
young, he wasn't always old.
Really?
Yeah,
According to that show. Yeah.
that's
Okay.
a good show.
So, also, the other one I got, Santa Claus didn't always have a beard.
Well, no, he was a child
yeah,
once.
he had to
Well,
grow up.
the public image of Santa Claus. Yes, that's what I'm saying. No, Santa Claus was born with a beard. Congratulations. It's a bearded fat man with an aversion
Man.
towards cookies.
I always wanted.
Santa Claus's mother says, please C-section this.
Yeah, there it is. Dutch settlers brought the jolly fat man to America's shores, and their image of Santa was tall, slendered, and very dignified
Father
without his
Christmas.
trademark beard.
All I can think of is Monopoly Man monocle. Yes.
Yes, quite indeed.
That's a little creepy.
So that was number 5. Down to number 4.
Number
4
4.
calling birds.
Now, this is one of those... I try to stay away from Christmas traditions that were weird, but this was too good to pass up. Andrea, you're from Oklahoma. What do you guys traditionally eat for Christmas?
Ham.
And?
What kind
Is
of
it just
fixings?
ham? What else do you
Lasagna.
have?
Lasagna for
Brisket.
Christmas? Really? Ooh, brisket's good.
Mashed
Turkey?
potatoes. You want to throw in some
Oh, the
green beans?
other thing.
Yeah, the other stuff. Yeah.
Thing.
What else?
Baked beans, macaroni and cheese, rolls.
You guys about the same?
Yeah, about the same. My mother makes a broccoli casserole that's fucking to die for every Christmas.
All right.
Oh, it's so good.
I usually do like when I can or when I have the opportunity. Usually like a turkey or something.
Oh, Tack's being modest.
Turkey
I usually,
Thanksgiving.
I'm going to be Tack for a minute. We usually do the number 2 with no onions.
Funny you bring that up.
Uh-oh.
So that's what a traditional American Christmas looks like. Anybody want to take a shot at what a traditional Japanese Christmas dinner looks like?
A goose. I don't know.
A far rah 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 goosh. Yes, I love that movie.
It's smiling
I love
at
it
me.
Smiling.
Christmas story.
In Japan, most people. Did I do number 4? Did we do this?
That's
Number
what.
4?
No, we're on it. That's what. We're
Yeah.
on.
Okay. So yeah, number 4 was in Japan. The most traditional Christmas dinner is KFC.
Really?
No.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. It takes there was a successful marketing campaign about 40 years ago, urging people to get KFC for Christmas, and it's stuck. To the point where you have to put in your Christmas order 2 months in advance.
Oh my
It is
gosh.
that popular.
What?
Dude, that's
Wow.
awesome. We actually have some friends of the show that are living that just moved to Japan, so we should ask them
They're
that.
not going to get to eat it now. It's too
Internal
late.
fuckies? Yeah.
It is too late. Wayne and Trish
Yeah.
moved there.
I would love to hear about that. You should ask them about it because I would love to know
What time is it?
what's going on.
What time is it in Japan?
It's
right now?
tomorrow in
That's
Japan.
the fake one.
Is it 7? No, it's further than 7 hours, isn't it?
Probably.
I'm while you're talking, I'm going to send a Facebook message to our friend Trish.
So that was number 4. I just thought that was a nice little thing to throw in.
You might find out it's fake though before this is over, and then you'll ruin
Oh,
it.
should I not send this?
May the odds be ever in your favor. Number 3.
Number 3.
War on Christmas. We brought up the Xmas, and now we're actually going to bring up the actual War on Christmas. Cable news networks love to roll out the War on Christmas because apparently Fox doesn't have much to talk about this time of year, and Bill O'Reilly has a conniption unless Trump's in the news cycle. So, the actual War on Christmas has not been waged by atheists, has not been waged by members of other religions. In fact, the War on Christmas has been waged for the most part by Puritans.
And what exactly is a Puritan?
A Christian.
Really?
Yes, they have held the longest standing war on Christmas because Puritans don't believe in celebrating. They feel like all the celebration, all the singing, all the merriment takes away from the solemn attitude that one should have and in reverence towards the birth of Christ.
Yeah, I listened to a
Births
show.
are joyful though.
Whose?
Births are joyful.
Not if you're a pilgrim, apparently.
Well, I listened to a show.
They didn't have
to-
electricity. Sucked. No makeup.
It was to the point
No,
where
no makeup.
Boston,
I would be grumpy too if I didn't have mascara.
colonial Boston actually had a ban on Christmas celebrations for 22 years, and the penalty was 18 shillings.
Really?
You could be fined 18 shillings for celebrating, and that's for each count of Christmas celebration. So if they found out you were giving gifts, that was 18 shillings. If they found out there was a dinner involved, that's another 18
What if it was
shillings.
your birthday on Christmas?
Well, then you better shut the fuck up.
yeah. So, all right. So, what was the quote? What was this one? What was the topic on this one again?
the actual war on Christmas.
Oh, about Christmas. Okay, sorry. I was watching a show today, or listening to a radio show today, and the guy on there had interviewed a Christian that was going in front of a toy store in front of a bunch of kids, and right now, like this week, and saying that Santa Claus is fake and blah 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 blah. Well, his defense to that entire argument is that a devout Christian does not have any kind of worship towards some other false type of deity of some kind like Santa Claus. So he was profusely denouncing this in front of children.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like shit that can get you punched in public.
I remember my son when he first started coming around to the whole Santa Claus truth, and him looking at me, he's like, but Boppy, if that guy with the beard isn't real, why is Jesus real? And that's why, as an atheist, I sat back and looked at my son in pride. I was just so proud that he was able to put that logic together. So why is the other one real if this one isn't? I was like, you're going to go far, kid. You're going to do really good things. So he still believes in Santa Claus just because we didn't want to have that conversation with him.
Santa Claus is awesome.
No, this is a live from Japan interruption for the show. And that came up. All right. So, this just in on Jay's episode. So I reached out to our friend in Japan live on the show, which is 1:05 a.m. here. So God only knows what time it is there. Her response, I said, "Hey Trish, what is the traditional Christmas meal in Japan?" Her answer, they really only celebrate as a Western holiday, not really deep into tradition here. So the main food they enjoy is, believe it or not, fried chicken. And she said, and only dark meat. All white meat chicken is not regarded as good to the Japanese people.
I love dark meat. I prefer dark meat.
I like white meat.
Me too.
I prefer thighs.
The Japanese do it right. From their chicken to their sex dolls.
Right.
Is that what Christmas is about?
Chicken and sex dolls. It should be. I'm surprised it's not more of a thing here. Congratulations. Merry Christmas. What is it? It's a blow up and a thigh. All right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack that.
Maybe you can find the thigh in the blow up. It's like a hidden surprise.
All right. And that was number 3.
All right.
We are down to the last 2. So starting with number 2.
Number 2.
Most people already know this one. Jesus Christ most likely wasn't actually born on December 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard that one before.
I've heard like a September birth was kind of in.
September, some people say spring. What it is most scholars say that if it's true, the accounts are true, that the shepherds were out watching their flocks in the middle of the night. You ever been in Israel in December? It's cold as shit. Ain't no shepherd standing outside. It's just not going to happen. They say it is when they look at the stars and the holy count, it is more likely that it was either in spring or perhaps mid to early fall.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's
I've heard that December 25th was a pagan day that was chosen later. I don't know the authenticity of that statement, but
that's actually kind of even among most scholars a little debated because there is some reference to December 25th. Before you're talking about like Saturnalia and all these other holidays that took place around the same time. They're saying that there were references to Christ being born on December 25th prior to them overtaking those holidays.
Gotcha.
So if that's the case, then it wasn't really co-opting Saturnalia. There was some other stuff before then. There was one that says it's 9 months after the resurrection, or 6 months rather. So they were going for like some symmetry there. It was 6 months after the resurrection. Or the also it was the winter solstice, even though now we celebrate the solstice is on December 25th. In the old calendars, solstice was December 25th. So I think it was kind of to line up with that as well.
Interesting fact about me, Andrea. My birthday is exactly 6 months to the day from Christmas.
I know.
June 25th, December 25th.
It's your half birthday.
Oh wait, was it 6? It might have been 9. I might have got the number wrong here. It might have been 9 months after because resurrection's in like March or April. So yeah, it would be about 9 months. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Okay. Can anybody else tell me why sometimes Easter's in March and sometimes Easter's in April?
It has to do with the
You would figure a hard
solstice.
date wouldn't change.
No, it's the solstice.
So depending on when the solstice is when Jesus was resurrected?
Wait, are you talking about that little car from
Saturn? Because they don't know the exact date, so they know that it was around some kind of... I had looked it up. I would have to redo it. I'll save that for the Easter show.
All right.
Nice.
Just more things to pick apart. And finally, this brings us to number 1.
Number
And
1.
a partridge in a pear tree.
Aww.
So we all know where Jesus was born. He was born in Bethlehem in a...
Little town of
Manger?
Bethlehem. Oh.
Wrong!
I don't know.
Jesus more than likely was born in a cave.
Tack looks scared.
That's where they kept him.
Well, no,
Animals.
so there's this whole thing about Jesus being born in a manger and in a little stable. More than likely, Jesus was born in a cave like a good Arab. Because we all forget that Jesus, Mary, Joe, all of them were Arabs.
Yep. Oliver.
What's he got over there?
A bone.
Just like his daddy.
Yeah, how you doing?
The familiar scene of a manger filled with animals as the baby Jesus enters the world pops up in front of every church even before Christmas has a chance to start. However, it is more likely that he was born and came into this world in a cave. According to the Gospel of Luke, I am your father. Sorry. I always I always really wanted like some priest with a really deep voice, like, today we will read from the book of Luke.
James Earl Jones.
I am your father. According to the Gospel of Luke, the shepherds that helped find shelter for Mary to give birth kept their flock in a cave. So that's written in the book, which we all know is true. The Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem is actually built over the cave, dubbed the Grotto of the Nativity, where Jesus is believed to have been born.
Huh.
Interesting.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah. So that's how it started. From Jesus to Osama, all living in caves.
Yeah, the depiction of Jesus throughout the years, they've shown some of that has changed, how man has slightly changed the appearance of what they want Jesus to look like.
I have a joke I started doing once I started going bald about, when I was a younger guy who could grow hair. I always kept a really short fade, and it wasn't until I started noticing my hairline receding where I started finally like begging my hair to grow out. And I said, I don't ask for much. I just want long, flowing hair like Jesus. Not that Arab Jew hair like wool Jesus that most likely existed. I want long, flowing hair like the white Jesus we made up. So, but yeah, that's
okay. So
that's my top 10 list
That
of
was a
Christmas
good list.
facts.
We got to pick the one that was fake.
You guys
Right,
want
we
to take
gotta
a
pick
shot
one
at
that
which
was fake.
one? Yeah.
Can you run back through them real quickly?
All right.
Yeah,
so
just the titles.
let's go.
You
Let me
can
pull my
skip the KFC one because we know that.
yeah. Let me pull my list back
Yeah,
up.
that's
So
real. Of course, maybe that's the trick, because she didn't say KFC. She just said fried chicken.
I'm going to go with that's
True.
real. Oh.
all right. So let's go down the list real quick. Starting from 10, we got most popular Christmas songs written by Jews. Xmas isn't actual proof of a war on Christmas. The Three Kings may not have been three. Spike in the suicide rate. Christmas wasn't always celebrated. Then we've got the look of Santa Claus wasn't created by Coca-Cola. Jesus most likely wasn't born on December 25th. Jesus was born in a cave. The actual war on Christmas has been carried out by puritanical Christians, and the Japanese like to eat their KFC.
Okay, I have a couple of ideas.
What are you thinking?
All right, I need a Bible question
I'm
here.
thinking either the suicide rate one, or the Puritans one. Well, shit, I don't know. Then I also think it's the Christmas is never celebrated one too.
I think it might be a double whammy.
Well,
I think it
Christmas
actually might be
could've-
KFC is wrong, but fried chicken is right, but KFC is wrong.
That would just be cruel, though.
Yeah.
That would
Partial
take.
truth.
I'll give you. That would take a lot of research on my part.
All right, that's a good point.
So we can rule out KFC, right?
So in the Bible, did they actually mention? Because it wasn't at the beginning that
Are there
wasn't the
caves
end.
and deserts? Was
Oh
it in the
yes,
desert?
Yeah, there's
yes,
caves
yes,
out
yes.
there.
That
That's
whole-
where they found
I've never
the
been
Dead
there.
Sea Scrolls, the Nag Hammadi Scrolls. Everything's found in caves
But
over
he
there.
was at the end, so that they keep their
That's-
animals in.
Caves, yeah,
Well, yeah,
because
they
it's a
keep
lot.
animals
It's a
in
lot
caves.
cheaper to
So the
find a cave
manger
instead
was
of
just
building
in
a
a
manger.
cave. They set up a manger in a cave then, maybe.
No,
Could be. I mean, technically they could do that.
It was at a hotel, though, so they would probably have a real manger, right?
Who sets up a manger for animals when they already have a cave? That's like putting a sweater on a dog. It already has a protective layer of
People
fur.
do it all the time. Makes it look better.
I wish Duke had his sweater on right now. That would have been a great statement.
Congratulations, mankind! You gave a warm, protective layer of fur to an animal that already has a warm, protective layer of
Not
fur.
if you cut it off and give them those little.
Well, stop
skinny-
cutting it off and giving the animal pneumonia.
Man, this is a difficult one to guess. You sold all of these really well. I'll state that as an obvious.
Yeah.
So this was a difficult one to pick as a fake.
Maybe the Xmas one.
X stands for that's not a bad guess.
He went into a
Because
lot
maybe
of
people
detail.
did that to get rid of the Christmas, so it wasn't about that. So, like people say Happy Holidays. Maybe it was changed to Xmas, so it wouldn't say that.
And he went along with me saying the X was like cross, Merry Christmas, almost a Merry Christmas. All right, I'm going to agree with Andrea. I'll go that one as well. Tack, what are you going to go with?
The Puritans one just didn't make any sense.
Ooh.
So that's
yeah.
where we're going. So we've got 2 Xmas and the Puritans.
All right.
Final answers? Are we locking this in?
Yeah, let's
Final
just lock
answer.
it
Are
in.
any of us right?
Suicide rate.
See, that was one of mine
Is
too.
it Valentine's Day the biggest?
Nope. No, so there's actually a lull in the suicide rate. It actually drops during Christmas.
I've
It
heard
seems
that
like all the
before.
emphasis on family and stuff actually does help some people. However, there is a spike in there is a huge spike in January, and a lot of scholars attribute that to a postponement effect. Everything's all the feelings are kind of put aside for Christmas, and then once it's over, bam, everybody that would have done it does it.
Wow.
And the actual peak for suicide is actually in spring.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Wow, we're going out on a really sour
So,
note
yeah, no, the
there.
X and the P is totally the first original sign of the crucifix.
Damn.
Xmas is actually it literally means Christmas. And, yeah, Puritans hate celebrating things. They're the precursors for the Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, they don't celebrate. Remember, Puritans weren't allowed to, they weren't allowed to dance. They weren't allowed to celebrate.
Footloose.
That whole thing is 100% accurate. So I hope this was mildly educational.
It was. It was
mildly
very
informative.
I enjoyed it, and I would like to ask this: how many other podcasts can actually do a live show like this and immediately reach halfway around the world to get a live update on the trivial questions that are being asked during
Only
the show?
here at the Twisted 10, folks.
Yeah.
That's right.
You get
That's what
live
happens when
responses.
we do a midnight show of the Twisted 10.
Trish out in Japan, we greatly appreciate your help on this. I'm going to tag you on Facebook for this one.
Cool.
So that's what I got, guys.
And I hope you enjoy some ham on Christmas Day.
That was a good list. Who's up next?
Finger on my nose this time.
It's either Andrea or Tach. It's one of you two.
Oh, then it's me then.
You're up next,
yeah.
Tach?
I'm up next.
Can we look at the list? Are you for sure about that one?
Yeah, I
Okay.
must be. Yeah. Let me see if I have a teaser. While I'm looking for a teaser, Adam, how can people get hold of us?
Well, you can email us at thetwisted10@gmail.com. We'll soon have a new URL for the Twisted 10, so you can actually visit a website and send us email to our own servers. But for right now, it's just thetwisted10@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at thetwisted10. And obviously, the easiest way to reach us right now is hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/thetwisted10. Send us a message, leave a comment. Write a review on iTunes, give us 5-star rating, or whatever star rating you feel we deserve or we're appropriate for. We are always looking for new ideas for Twisted 10 topics. So if you have a Twisted 10 topic, send it in, as well as something kind of cool. No other podcast out there lets a guest, even a stranger that's a guest, host an entire episode of their podcast. But guess what? We do that here. So if you want to host an episode of the Twisted 10, reach out to us through the email or through Facebook and let us know, and we will do all the coordination with you. You pick your proxy in here in the cast, meaning you pick one of the cast members to bounce your idea off of. That way, it's a surprise for the other three, and then work out the details.
Sounds good. We do have a couple people coming up soon that we'll be doing.
That's awesome. So the number one is that girl that emailed in. Gonna do a show with us?
She's working on something now. So
Perfect.
I told her to give us a week's notice.
Okay.
And then we'll try to schedule her on.
And is Holly gonna do a Twisted 10?
I haven't asked her about that.
I didn't realize
I'll
how
find
festive her name was.
out.
I was thinking about it all the time I was listening to songs. Holly at your front door.
Well, that just sounds like a warning. Dude, Holly at your front door.
Yeah, exactly.
Beginning to look like
Hide the shit, man. Holly's at the door.
That's what'll make Tach the happiest is the Holly at his own front door.
Oh.
Oh.
We should ask her. We would love her to do an episode of the Twisted 10.
I think she's been thinking about it. I think she's trying to think of a good list. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. So I'm next week trying to think. I haven't picked one out yet, but I have potential lists here. So.
It'll be a surprise for all of us.
I don't know. I don't have a. I don't have a.
Well, Jay and I have both screwed things up. Yawn right into that mic there, baby. Yeah.
The one thing you do into the mic.
That's right.
I quit.
Oh, we hurt your feelings. All right.
Wait, I didn't hurt your feelings.
Oh, yeah, I'll only be on Tach's show.
Hey. I was going to do a teaser, but I don't have one. So.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, Jay and I screwed up our last 2 teasers anyway, so
yeah,
teasers don't work
I'm
well
not
for
even
us.
going to attempt it.
Teasers mean nothing here.
Unless you already have a show written, don't tease it. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't have one.
All right.
So next week I will be bringing in a nice unique list. I don't know what it is though. But
Jay, thank you for staying a little bit late tonight and getting this done. I didn't expect that other show, the other recording, to go that late. If you're interested in a very funny but very long episode of Living Podcariously, go check out that show. Yeah, we had some pretty good guests in tonight.
indeed.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Well, cool.
All right. So I am Tach,
I'm Adam.
I'm Andrea Joy.
I'm Jay Alvarez.
and we will see you next week.
We could say, tax list's a mystery. You must listen and then you'll see. You'll name the 10.
Stop. Don't make this a dirty
He's
thing.
ruining it. What happened?
She heard that I was going to ruin
She's
Christmas and she just went away. That's what that was.
That's what happens when
Sorry,
you kill
technical.
innocence. I died.
Technical difficulties. We need a sponsor to pay for some upgraded equipment in studio. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe if you're the type of sponsor that likes to buy cheap engagement rings for women, although you could easily afford much better ones.
You're still holding that grudge.
I am still holding that grudge. I've actually gotten several messages on Facebook because of my little rant. Like, did you really call her a bitch? I was like, you heard it. You heard it. So, no, but I do like the Christmas season. I like all, the fact that everybody comes together. But, and I remember, growing up in Miami, my Christmas was always very, let's decorate the palm tree. You know what I mean? So it was very different. When I first moved to New York, I remember thinking that, having this very Norman Rockwell, Miracle on 34th Street image of Christmas. Like, I thought it was just going to be like little girls in pea coats running up and down the sidewalks saying, "Oh, look, mommy, it's Father Christmas." Like, I don't know why little girls in New York have British accents, but, and what happened was, I remember my first Christmas in New York, I told myself, let's go to Rockefeller Center. Let's check out the ice skating because, that's what you do. And I went there with this whole image in my head. And what I found was, instead of a Coke commercial, I found some 45-year-old overweight pudgy guy slipping on his ice skates like, "Hey, Marie, watch me do this pirouette."
Name you can have, I think.
And it was actually written when they were in California going through a heat wave and wishing for, better temperatures.
Let it snow.
Let it snow. That wasn't a song to bring about images. It was a plea. For the love of everything good and fluffy on this earth, let it snow. The other one I got is Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Santa Claus is coming.
Was written by James Gillespie. He was actually hired by a radio station to write a Christmas song, and he had to quit because his brother had died. And while he was grieving the loss of his brother, he actually remembered one of the things his mom used to tell them when they were kids: "You better watch out. You better not cry because Santa Claus is watching."
Oh, wow.
And so that's where the hook came for the song. And that's what came out of his brother dying. That was, one of the most one of the biggest, I guess, grief-stricken periods of his life.
Blessing,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Blessing in disguise.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they always say that things like death or love or something like that draws on some of the most creative tendencies in a person.
That didn't happen for your rap, though.
I wasn't in love with my rap on Living Vicariously.
I don't think anybody was in love with your rap.
No. Hey, look, I'm not a rapper, but I
loved
tried.
it. I loved it.
I tried.
I thought it was fantastic.
I'm going to cut it all out, though. I'm going to cut out the punishment. I'm going to cut out the rap. No,
you're going to cut out your stuff and no one else.
I'm going to dub in Eminem inside for my rap.
So that was number 10.
What's this, baby?
And so for the Twisted 10, I am Tach. I'm not your host for today.
I am Adam, and I am also not your host today.
I'm Andrea Joy.
Not a host.
Not a host.
S.
Not a hostess. I like that.
And I'm Jay Alvarez, and I was the last one to put my finger on my nose. So I will be your host this week.
Nice.
All right. So what do you have for us this week, Jay?
Well, this week I have just an average list. The season being upon us.
Oh, nice.
I know last week I gave a teaser, and I started working on a list, and that just went to shit. That did not happen.
That happens
It was
here.
not worth. Yeah,
It happens to me a lot too.
Yeah, Adam's pretty famous for that.
Yeah, that list turned out to be a horrible, horrible mistake. So I revamped. Realized it's the holiday season, and so I decided to come up with a little list. Something that's always near and dear to my heart. I have Jay's top 10 Christmas facts.
Ooh, how festive.
Ooh.
I love Christmas.
Baby,
You're gonna want to
it's
hold. You're gonna
cold
want to hold on to
outside.
those expectations, there, Andrea.
Oh no!
Are you about to ruin Christmas for me?
I'm about to ruin Christmas for a whole lot of people, probably.
Should I turn the
no.
volume off?
I love Christmas time.
Oh, I love Christmas time
I still
too.
think it's magical.
I love Christmas time in the sense that I love that everybody comes together. It's always very festive. Stop.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to The Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique, host-created top 10 lists, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle and Adam Poston.
And welcome to just an average episode of the Twisted 10.
I like you aren't spoiling
you know.
the audience because
Yeah,
this could be great.
I don't want to build it up too much, you know.
I like that.
So, welcome to Twisted 10, and if this is your first time joining us, what this show is all about is we have a different host for the day, and they come up with a unique original top 10 list, and then we all discuss it, break it down, tear it apart, rip it up, eat it, and then poop it out. Why did that come back again?
Do these lists come from some specific place?
I'm glad you asked, Adam. No, they do. Well, they do. I mean, we will use like references from different lists online, whatever, YouTube, whatever. But we'll put together our own list. And a lot of times they're usually not in any particular order, but that's all up to the host for the day.
Or hostess.
Or hostess for the day.
The hostess with the most.
Wet. And then he pushed 5 people out of the way just so he could fall face first onto the ice. And an ambulance had to come and scrape him off because he ended up breaking his nose.
Oh no!
Yeah. So Norman Rockwell's a liar. Is what I learned.
Well, I don't think Norman Rockwell painted anything on 30 Rock, though, did he?
I don't know. Don't care.
He mostly stuck to small town stuff.
He's the one I'm blaming. Don't take this from me, Tech. I don't have much. So since Christmas was ruined for me at that time,
I'm going to ruin it
I'm
for all of
ruining
you.
it for everyone else. And no, my heart will not grow 3 times this day. So, with all ado, here are Jay's top 10 Christmas facts, and we're starting with number 10.
Number 10.
10, Lords of Leaping.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So, number 10, most popular Christmas songs were written by Jews
That's interesting.
or have
Really?
unconventional origins. Yes. I mean, think about it. One of the best-selling Christmas albums is Barbra Streisand sings the Christmas tunes. Oh, we all know Babs is a member of the tribe. So,
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
one of the ones I got for this one, or if they weren't written by Jews, they have some pretty unconventional origins. What was it? Jingle Bells was actually written for Thanksgiving.
We said that on a Thanksgiving show.
Yeah, we talked about that
see,
somewhere.
so that was one that was one that came up. So that's one of the ones I got that got me thinking about this. We're looking at "Let It Snow" was written by Jewel Stein and Sammy Kahn.
That's about the most Jewish